Are 2023 Fnatic back? Well, they just might be because they won VCT EMEA Stage 1, which they have done quite often throughout Valorant's history here. And they did it by beating Team Heretics. And we're going to take a look here at Split, because the start of Split in this attack side was unbelievable. It was beautiful. And we're going to start off with a round straight out of the TMV playbook. A fake pistol, okay? So here's the spike. Here's a ton of stuff going on. We're going to fake A, but we're not just going to fake A. Okay, take a look at what happens here. So this is the first round, right? A Fnatic are on their attack side here. They're playing against double Julius, no Senti. Look at what they do here, right? So we've already got the clone here and the fake gate crash just here, okay? But first off, they're actually going to make some noise over towards B, right? So just take a look here, right? So we're taking B main. We come into B main. We're going to start shooting a little bit, making some noise, take a prowler just there, right? Make some noise over towards B. Get these guys drifting over towards B. Oh, but TMV, you said it's a fake, but here's the spike, so where's the fake? Well, this is where it gets clever, you see, because they don't commit to the site, right? They just chill. They're just chilling here, not doing too much. And now we wait a bit. We pause, we pause, we pause, we pause. We're waiting, and now we're sending out a Viper wall on A. Now we're sending in the fake gate crash, so we've made some noise here. We're sending in the clone. We're sending in our raise. There's a Viper wall here. Take a look at what Team Heretics, take a look at what happens to them. Look at this great migration. The birds are coming across to A. We're throwing in a nade towards A as well. And look at Team Heretics. They're all coming across. Nice omen flash. No one's there. No one's there. And now we're going to sneak into B. I mean, just look at the map. Look at the map. Look at it. It's beautiful. And now we have a free B site. The old, like a double fake pistol. Who's ever seen that before? And now Fnatic are gonna clean up.
Being raised into Woot's mind of, guys, could they be going B? And we can already see it. Fnatic are on site. Woot's a little too late to the party. He might be rushed down here. He could be vulnerable. We know he's on his own towards CT, but now he's got support. But Alpha, in the meantime, finds Benji. The layers to this pistol look lovely for Fnatic. Now, can Heretics fight back by any means? Boot burns the paranoia. Rienz is no utility. It's just going to be the fight. Let's not clean it up. Come on!
Okay, yeah, so with the double fake, Fnatic do manage to actually get in onto the site. However, this is really good by Woot by delaying the plant here, right? So that nade delays the plant. And that means that although they did get them, right, and everyone from Team Heretics across here, because they delayed the plant with this nade, that does allow everyone else from Team Heretics to get back across. However, the second layer to this is that now our Viper and Raze, who were faking over towards A, are now together, and they're killing Benji in mid together, right? So this is a nice little layer here for Fnatic to start off with. Not just having this one player alone, because I've been in this situation, I'm sure some of you have as well, where, you know, you're kind of the late lurk rotating across here, and, you know, you're in a 1v1, but you end up losing that fight on a pistol. That can happen, right? But we've got two players here, so we're much more likely to win that. But the spike is still not down, and Heretics, I think, have the right reaction, right? Like, oh, we've seen two players here. That means that there's three people here, and we've got four, so let's just, like, instantly just run in at them, right? Because right now on B, we actually have a numbers advantage, but Fnatic do another good job in kind of perhaps realizing that the pressure is now coming on and getting into kind of more, you know, a tight-knit formation and then some safer positions that give these guys, you know, a bit of time. So you see Chronicle and Alpha here running, you know, back towards B main. And now they are back, right? And so now Team Heretics, they've just missed that little bit of a window when they were in an advantage situation. They still try and push the gas here, but unfortunately, you know, it's just a little bit too late. All of Fnatic here, they aren't aware of Kayak, and he absolutely cleans them up. And oh, by the way, Kayak had an insane game. And when I say Kayak had an insane game, I'm just going to quickly show you. He was plus 40 in a best of 5, okay? It was only 3 maps long. He went 73 and 33. In 3 maps. Plus 40. I mean, he really was farming. Okay, now let's skip ahead to the bonus round, and because Fnatic have gone for a little FPX buy, this is a very scary looking bonus, and because Kayak is farming, he also has a Yoru ult online, and this round is gonna go about as well as it can for Fnatic. And again, take a look at what they're gonna do. This is like a perfect, like, how you should use Yoru on attack for me. And we see a lot of Yoru these days, of course, but I don't think we see a lot of Yoru that looks like this, because this was really good. Again, Fnatic, by the way, they almost like never defaulted mid, right? They, like, early round, almost no one was ever there, right? This is like the most you would see of just, you know, one person just checking to see if Heretics push mid. But other than that, there really wasn't too much in the early parts of these rounds. They were much more focused on the mains as they are here, right? Because again, and this is the thing, right? We are, you know, 25 seconds into the round. Fnatic have essentially done nothing. Nothing has happened, right? Look at the map. Alpha is just going into B main. These guys have just started walking towards A. We're 25 seconds in, nothing's happened, right? And you might be like, oh, well, that's a bit stupid. Aren't you just running down the time? Well, no, because what can happen when you do that is if they've gone for any kind of aggressive play, of course, you get the chance to catch them out because you're just waiting for them anyway. But also if they have certain setups, like, you know, if you've got kind of like a double up here and maybe there's a gap right here, right? Like there is right now on the map for Heretics. Well, if we put this Viper Orb up, all of a sudden this creates a problem for Benji, right? And if these guys were in some kind of like, you know, aggressive setup, just by simply putting up Viper Walls or Viper Orbs or putting any smoke anywhere on the map, especially against a no senti comp like they're playing against, that can cause problems just by, you know, the time is ticking down. Something might have happened. But let's just take a look at what they do here, Fnatic, right? So again, it's fake pressure over towards A, right? With the Fade Prowler, with the Yoru clone, you know, we're gonna keep Kayak here though, right? So now we have this Yoru TP across the map, right? So we've kind of inserted Kayak just here, you know, to be over towards A. Now we get Crashies rotating across. We've taken B main, you know, with Alpha just here. So we'll now take a look at what we do. Because a Prowler comes out here from Heretics. Kayak actually actively shoots it, right? He actively shoots the Prowler there. Again, kind of showing himself to be here, right? And this is, again, just how you should be using Yoru, right? We should be inserting Yoru, who, if they come for like an aggressive reclear here, well, the Yoru can just TP away, right? Give us that information and we can just speed up to go towards B, right? It's like, if Heretics do decide to go for an aggressive reclear here, we're in a good spot. If they decide to do nothing and get no information, we're also in a good spot, right? So you're in a good spot either way. We now decide, okay, we are going to come over towards B with this B main control. So we TP back across, and now we're ready to go for our plan. And we're going to go for really, you know, the classic Yoru ult plan, which is send the Yoru ult up on its own one way, send the other 4 players this way, right? So kind of like a B split, but you also get all the information of what's going on in towards here. And as we can see, no one is there, right? Because again, with kind of shooting of that Prowler and the early pressure that they'd shown, and they haven't really made any noise anywhere else, actually 3 players from Heretics are looking over towards A, which means that this B site is going to be pretty weak.
As well here, but now you almost feel as if you don't want to see them committed towards this site hold. Kayak gonna dimensional drift.
Back up towards main.
The problem being now, like I said, these committed positions now become a little concerning if they can't get away from sight.
This is getting tough. Boo is surrounded here, and the great paranoia, but he's been pinned down already. Kayak was on a mission there. With Alpha removing Miniboo at the same time, they got caught. They got punished for those 4 positions.
And there you go. And that is round over. Team Heretics are actually just going to save from that point. And again, you think about, like, what were these guys on site? What were they going to do? Right? Like, you're getting Yoru ulted here. They get revealed. You know, it's just a really tough spot to be. You know, you can't defend this choke point because this Yoru is about to come out of the ult. So Kayak's out of the ult there, right? So, like, yeah, you're worried about the choke point or whatever. You don't have time to shoot all the things. Miniboo's TPing away, but he's getting revealed as well. So you're now both getting revealed. You're now getting pinched by the 2 duelists. So you've got Kayak coming up this way. You've got Alpha here coming this way, right? So now you're getting pinched. You're revealed. I mean, you're just in a terrible spot, right? No help is coming anytime soon because, again, you know, we've got the rotate wrong. We're on the wrong side of the map. Like, there's nothing here to be done for Team Heretics, right? This round was just over, and I think the way that Fnatic used the clock there in terms of, you know, just, hey, let's just do nothing for the first 15 seconds. And sometimes that can make you look stupid, right? You run out of time, and it's like, oh, what are we doing? And we've seen that happen to Fnatic. But at other times, it can look like this, where, you know, just because you made a tiny bit of noise somewhere on the map, everyone thinks, well, they must probably be there, I guess, because that's the only noise we've heard, and you get punished for it. But then we're going to watch the very next round and take a look at how this one starts. And again, Team Heretics are going to end up looking like fools.
If that trend does continue here, so if actually Heretics might try and put something in motion outside. Hey, this time around, there's members of Fnatic.
So again, Team Heretics, this looks stupid, right? It looks like, what the hell are you doing there, Woot? And there maybe is a bit of that. You know, Team Heretics didn't play well in this game, don't get me wrong. But they're thinking, well, we need to get some information here, right? Maybe this smoke doesn't help them, to be honest, you know, because Woot's then just blind peeking through a smoke. So yeah, maybe it's not ideal. But they feel like they need that information, right? Because of what's been happening the last couple of rounds, like getting the rotates wrong, they have no idea what's going on. They need that. But Fnatic, again, they ain't doing anything. And this is another thing, right, that we see in these rounds, is Team Heretics were not used to Fnatic's pace. Most teams do not play this slow, right? Most teams do stuff in the first 20 seconds. Fnatic, they're happy not to, right? They're happy to just sit there. The thing is, take a look at what happens now, though, because okay, they've got this first kill on A, and Heretics now, they decide, well, we need to go and do something, right? So these two group up it towards B main, we get a jump peek just there, get Miniboo on the angle, and he kills Alfia and punishes Alfia, right? So this is good from Team Heretics. They find that kill, we're back into a 4v4. However, Alfia knows, obviously he's seen the Omen, and he's died to the Yoru just there, right? So we know that there's two people here, okay? Well, now, this is a good call by Boaster, because what he's going to do is he's going to call these guys to come up ramp, and he's going to himself come up towards vents, right? And the reason this is a good call is because if you know that there's two players on B, well, then there's 3 lanes here that they have to defend towards the A, right? So, if we come towards ramp just here, and Boaster lurks in through vents, well, you know, if they've only got 2 players here, and they actually do rotate another player across. So again, maybe this is a bit of a mistake here from Team Heretics as they go for an aggressive reclear, looking for the Yoru flash with the Viper swing just here. But now Boaster knows that he's got a free kill. Right, so again, we found the right call here from Boaster, right? Understanding that, hey, if there's 2 people over here, you know, we can kind of attack, you know, these 3 lanes. And you know, if we do that, they won't all be there. And so now we're just going to see a free kill from Boaster. And now Fnatic are in, right? And now from this point, they can easily convert the round.
Completely unaware of Boaster. And again, this is methodical. It's near on mechanical from Fnatic. Look at this! Heretics not even getting a glance into this. Boo recovered the weapon off the body of Alpha, but he's on the wrong side of the map. The only one here is Rienz with a classic. Mike, he's good. I don't think he's that good.
Well, if they get a couple for free here, it doesn't even look like Kayak will give him the chance.
Jesus!
It's shut down here. It's looking clinical for Fnatic. Whether Boo's going to be able to find anything, crashes, remove any hope here in round.
And right there from Fnatic, we are seeing a team that is just in complete control of what they are doing, right? Everything is thought about, everything, you know, they're playing at their speed, a speed that they're comfortable with, and a lot of the time, at least in this game, Team Heretics were not comfortable with. And we saw that again in the very next round, because take a look at this. Again, Team Heretics, they're going to go for kind of, you know, this more aggressive A stance just here. This is off a timeout, so they've clearly said, hey, we've got a Yoru here, you know, let's get this Yoru set up, right? And then we can leave and we can have this control, you know, with Miniboo just here. And, you know, then we can stack the rest of the map. And yeah, that makes sense, right? But again, Fnatic, they play slow, right? They play slow, and to the point that these TPs from Yorus, they end up going. And all of a sudden you don't have a TP out. And now you're just kind of stuck here. And that puts you in a more difficult situation. Because then when Fnatic decide to, you know, come and try and aggress towards A, Miniboo can't just TP across the map, and all of a sudden he's in trouble, right? And now all of a sudden he's in trouble, and now you need some kind of reaction from Team Heretics, right? Because now we look at the map, he's been pushed back, and all of a sudden this is empty, right? This is empty, and it's ready for the taking. So now they come for a reclear of B main, right? And again, it's just Alfia, you know, kind of sitting here. He destroys the Prowler just there. He backs off. They're ready for this, right? Because they know that that reaction is probably coming after taking A main, right? They're going to push in towards B main. But now just take a look at how confused Team Heretics are going to get, okay? Because, okay, we push them off, you know, B main. Again, we've just got a Yoru sitting here, right? So if any Fade util comes out towards here, or any information, boombot, whatever, he's just going to shoot it and make it seem like they're over towards A. Because these guys don't know. Boo is now sprinting towards A because they've recleared B main, and no, you know, they weren't there. So, you know, this must be they're going back towards A. But now we start to get Boombot in here, right? But again, we've seen Alpha and B main before, so that it doesn't have to be real. We've seen a fake from Alpha here on the pistol round, so that doesn't have to be real, right? They don't know what's real and what's not, because again, take a look at the map. We're now coming in for this B exec, and again, look at the map. You're in a lot of trouble about to get B split in a 5v2.
Back this 3-2 split here, the Prowler does not connect, but Rienz needs to call in.
Big win as well to surround the Seas and the Snake Bite.
Oh dear. Rienz might be in trouble here as a bouncing Alpha flies over. It's Chronicle to claim the kill, but now Benji should be noted. That Viper util, and he's gonna do well, but there's a trade coming in. These splits are completely on.
Part of you might be like, well, what are Team Heretics doing, right? Why is Boo, when someone shot a Fade Prowler here, you know, and now they've taken B main, why does he sprint over towards A if they haven't, you know, heard too much over here in a little while, right? Like, why? Well, again, I think this has to do somewhat with maybe the time, right? That most of the time, if no one's in B main at 50 seconds, for most teams, that probably means they aren't going B, right? But not for Fnatic, because the time is just different here. We live in a different realm with Fnatic in terms of time, right? Because they're happy to live with the clock down, you know, in the last 20 seconds or so before they're doing a site exec. They're more than happy to do that, right? And again, you see it. Just watch these guys. Just watch the Raze and the Omen here, right? When we start to get some pressure in here from the Fade Prowler, well, now a Seize comes out, so they're a bit delayed there. These guys aren't up mid yet. We're now at 30 seconds, right? So now it's like time is ticking down. Look at how confused these guys are. They start to make their way over towards B. I have literally no idea why they both turn around at this point. I honestly don't know. Again, they went silent for like 5 seconds, and these guys then drift back towards A. Now, I can understand one of them drifting back towards A to, you know, come and watch this in case they come towards Vents and then towards A. But you've got your Yoru pushed up here. Like, this is how confused Heretics were. Because, like, just 5 seconds of silence, and these guys are, like, panicking again, thinking that it's an A hit. And it's not until, you know, we actually start getting gunfights here with Rienz and Alpha's actually on the site. Look, they're still staring towards A. I don't know. Maybe it was a miscomm or someone thought that they heard something in Vents. I have no idea. But look at it. It's not until they actually die that these guys then start making their way back over towards B. And that's what gives Fnatic, you know, a free heaven lurk. No one watching that whatsoever. And Benji does manage to get one, but then obviously he's traded by Boaster. And then we're also going to get the kill in towards Stairs as well. Right? So this is also free. So Heretics were just so confused, right? They were just all over the place, had no idea what was going on because of the silence. Again, because of the time, right? Fnatic are happy with looking at red numbers here on the time before they plant. They're more than happy to do that, whereas most teams aren't. And also the way that they used Yoru, right? Early conditioning of, we're going to fake stuff, right? We're going to be on A main and B main at the same time, and you're going to have to figure out which one is real and which one is fake, because there's going to be fakes in there, and you're not going to know. And it caused Heretics massive, massive problems, and it gave Fnatic a really flawless win here and a 3-0 in the grand final.
Are completely uncontested. Heretics need to get a grip on this, and they can't stop the rot. Boo bailed out the site earlier on, and now punished. They can't get a grip on Fnatic.